Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, here today to talk to you about the Warlock of Death from the Netherlands-based band Lucifericon. This one is coming off of Invictus Productions. This is Lucifericon's second album following their last release, Alchemy, which was well received in a number of places. A lot of reason for that is kind of this band's genre agnosticism. While this band primarily leans into death metal territory, even so to the point where they kind of call back and emulate some of the old icons. You're going to hear some Entombed and some Deicide in this for sure. But they don't shy away from incorporating some black metal elements, some moments from doom metal, and borrowing from other avenues of extreme metal as they see fit. They really approach their tracks as an open palette, which I really respect and enjoy. Now, let me just say, this album, it's evil. And I like that. I like that a lot. On the opening track here, Obscure and Forbidden, you get these murky, really filthy, death metal-y riffs that beginning also kind of have a doomy edge to them, though this track will speed up significantly as it progresses and no longer kind of can be called doom. But at the very beginning, there's definitely a doom element. The vocals here, though, definitely are more informed by black metal. You get these very breathy streaks. The drums here are just thundering, and the band doesn't take a lot of time for them to just hit you with a ton of force. There's also this searing solo on this first cut that kind of calls back to some very classic thrash records. You'll definitely hear some Testament, I think, in kind of this solo. While remaining very cohesive, this cut, it feels like it all has a direction. It never comes off as monotonous, as the band continuously finds ways to introduce a new idea or a new riff or a new fill consistent throughout the track and throughout the album. It's really well done in how they do that. On Clephotic Trance, the black metal tendency of this band really come out. You get these dark, twisting, kind of frenzied riffs that sort of fly around in your headphones, really jerking you around as you try to follow along. The drums here sound so large and are so violent. There's also some like sweet, kinda swung grooves here that do fit and play and communicate well with the other guitar bits that go on in this track. Veils of Negative Experience has a very old school feel in all of its tendencies. It's kind of like, feels sort of as if Morbid Angel and Dark Throne met and created riffs together. And that's what these guitars sound like to my ears. But also there's a cool kind of spacey psychedelic bridge to this track that also features some nice melodic riffing that really kind of conjures up a really cool atmosphere, kind of showing their diversity in how they approached writing this album. Kadir's Urn, I believe I pronounced that right. You get this cool kind of sped up and slow down thing. You'll get these fast, speedy death metal riffs that suddenly get jolted into these more groovy cuts. There's a kind of really snappy in how it does it, and then it'll just rinse and repeat and kind of keep doing that. It has a nice effect to it. Also, there's a very wicked, pagan-esque, sort of folksy outro to this track. For good measure, it sounds like it really belongs. Sigillium Arosha, I believe, A Map of Possibilities. There's this dual vocal attack that I really love. It's fierce and harrowing, just kind of doubles the ferocity from the vocalist. You get these churning riffs and double bass in droves, and just plenty of it here. There's no if you want that, you're gonna get it on this record and in this track in particular. There's just an impressive sort of building and nauseating, overwhelming atmosphere to this track. The quality, it's just intoxicating and venomous and just sort of crushes in a good way. There's this nasty refrain on this cut. It's sticky, it gets in your head, but it never sacrifices that menacing bite that is such an important part of this record's character. The iconostasis of blasphemy is a more open cut here. You get these dissonant chords sort of being picked through, and this chilling, more black metal style tremolo playing from the guitars. There's also a doomier midsection here, and they're really sort of on this track flexing that multi-style approach to their songwriting that I talked about in the intro to this album. They really just kind of pick where they see fit, and there's no kind of restriction from what metal subgenres they feel they can draw from. The title track that kind of closes this out, they bring all their guns out for the finale here. It's just this dense layers and walls of sound being thrown at you violently. The riffs have this real foreboding quality. They're subtly melodic, but covered and clothed in this sense of impending doom and destruction. Also, the solo on this cut, it just rips. It's just a fierce, sick, wicked solo. It's super fun to listen to. This last title track is probably the most purely black metal this band sounds. You get those very standard trebly tremolo riffs being featured very prominently here. This is an album that I think many different types of metalheads and metal fans are going to find something to enjoy. It's going to have an appeal that fits with the taste of many extreme metal enjoyers. The the occult themes and imagery on this album, the band doesn't hold back. It's on full display. Like I said, this album is pretty evil. It's filled to the brim with different ideas and riffs and just avenues to explore. I can't say it enough. I appreciate how much they're willing to draw from different places to find that perfect sound for them. But it also feels very cohesive with how diverse it is. It all fits together as a whole. Doesn't feel random. It all works together really well. So I definitely recommend this album to metal fans as a whole. And those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It helps the channel grow quite a bit. It gets this video out there. If you enjoy what I do and want to be informed of my next review, it would also help a ton and mean the world to me if you would subscribe. I have a Twitter you can follow. The link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. Please leave any comments or feedback, and if you've listened to this, I'd love to know what you thought of the record. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh. Signing off.